Hello, this is Sharon Pierce for Near Desert Experience NDE, August 6, 2024 at approximately 7:41 p.m. in California. I want to mention a few things about water right now, even though many people are focused on the triple digits and temperatures in the 90s and the wildfires. There are still things going on with water. One of those things is that there has been a recent report that the water melt coming down into the lakes and reservoirs and so forth. As to Lake Arrowhead in Congressional District 23, J.O. Bernald's district, Lake Arrowhead's surface water has raised 5 feet in, I think it was from May to June or maybe into July. There's so much water to bring into the lake, and that feeds into another item that I want to bring up that has to do with the bill that California Congressman John Garamendi, who does not represent a desert area, but represents the Bay Area, Congressional District 8, but he has served for a long time. He's a senior member of the House Committee for Transportation and Infrastructure and works on rivers, deltas. He works mainly on issues and bills related to the West, and there was at least, I think he's still on it, another congressman from Louisiana who deals with the Mississippi River and points east as to issues related to that area. So Congressman Garamendi recently had passed his Water Resources Development Act of 2024. That's called H.R. House Resolution 8812. All right. And it covers some things to do with the Bay Area, but it also covers some regional areas and statewide areas. And a couple of items that I brought up here that I thought would be interesting to point out has to do with, for one thing, his H.R. 765 on drought resiliency. Now I can bring up here the enlarged language, drought resiliency. What I thought was interesting was making water supply a co-equal primary mission of the Army Corps of Engineers, which would allow Army Corps-owned reservoirs, they own some, in drought-prone western states like California, to be operated for new water supply, in addition to flood control, outdoor recreation, and aquatic ecosystem benefits. The committee passed Bill WRDA 2024 incorporates his and Representative Grace Napolitano's bipartisan priority for water supply and Conservation Act of 2024. Representative Napolitano represents Congressional District 31, which is down in the San Bernardino Mountains. She's not running for re-election. I'm going to stop sharing that. And I'm going to go back and see if I can bring up again his, I think I can. What do you know about that? So in addition to that one, there's another one, statewide removal of abandoned and derelict vessels, incorporates key provisions from his H.R. 7719, which was about removing abandoned and derelict vessels that blocked federally maintained channels. And this one incorporates provisions expanding the Army Corps existing vessel removal authority to also include those abandoned and derelict vessels not impeding navigation, the ones that you just see around the edges of the shoreline and back in coves that have floated over there somehow, some way, or show up when there is a drought and the lake beds dry up. Current law only allows the Corps to remove vessels blocking a federally maintained channel, not ones on the shoreline. So that's a little more of an improvement around the state. And then this one, a regional win. Native American artifacts, establishing a pilot program right now in the Sacramento River watershed, but it might, be successful and then be carried out throughout the state to allow federally recognized Native American tribes, and there are Native American tribes throughout California. Some are federally recognized and some are state recognized and some are recognized in other ways. And sometimes as to certain issues, the lesser recognized ones can blend into like a covering, an umbrella issue with federally recognized tribes, to acquire and rebury any burials and cultural resources found during construction of an Army Corps project, namely levees. Now, with the atmospheric rivers pounding down, they have broken down levees all over the place, California, and they carry on over into Nevada, Arizona. So that could prove very interesting for Native American artifacts. Found, and this is culture, this is all about culture, during construction of an Army Corps project, namely levees. The committee passed the bill which incorporates key provisions from Congressman Garamendi's and Lamalfa's, who is a Republican from California District 1, their Native American Burial Sites and Cultural Resources Protection Act, H.R. 8812. So they are working on matters to having bills that are addressing the attendant issues related to dealing with the atmospheric rivers as we are beginning to recognize them. So as the levees are rebuilt and repaired, some things are coming out of that. It's about conserving. They're finding ways as best they can with the money they have and the cooperation they receive to start managing the water. Some of it comes down from the sky as a gift to we the people, and some of it comes down to the mountains, and then it snow, and then it melts or it runs off, and then it fills up the dry lakes, the sinks, the ponds, the underwater rivers like the Mojave River in the desert, which is, a lot of it is not underwater, underground. The underground river of the Mojave River, which much of it is underground and under the desert, and then in his recent history, it comes up around Barstow and runs for a while. But it is my personal belief that that's going to be more of an above-ground river as the years go by, as we deal with water influx. So there's interesting things being done that everyone should be aware of. Let me stop sharing. And I hope that people begin to think a lot about, it's your water, what do you want to do with it? How do you want it to be yours? How do you want it to keep it for yourself? And be proactive in following it along and figuring out if there's a lot of water out near the edges of the desert and filling out certain places in the desert, there could be more livable land in time. And look into the abandoned infrastructures and all that's out there that has been the debris of the 20th century, the 1900s, while people went on their way claiming the water for whatever they wanted and leaving dryness in its wake. We're now in another world. Thank you very much for listening.